Kitguru is with MSI notebooks at CES 2025. Almost the king of the heap is the Titan 18HX AI. There's a more kingly version of the Titan around the corner, but it's really busy around there. We'll get there in a moment. Significant thing with this laptop, powered by Intel Core Ultra 9 285HX, and it runs with NVIDIA RTX 5090 graphics, which don't theoretically exist until tonight. And so this video will be under embargo until tomorrow. Those graphics run with 24 gigabytes of GDDR7. The panel, 3840 by 2400, and it's 1610 with mini LED 120Hz refresh. And if Mac goes to one side or the other, we can see how chunky the laptop is, and you can get a feel for the cooling system. Vapor chamber cooling, clearly that combination of CPU and GPU takes a load of power, up to, in this case, 270 watts. 95 for the CPU, 175 watts for the GPU. Moving on from the Titan 18, we have the Raider 18 and also the Raider A18. In other words, both Intel and AMD options with this chassis. The AMD processor has the horrendous tongue twister of Ryzen 9 9950HX3D, a processor that Lisa Su presumably launched or announced earlier today. We're in the afternoon here. Her keynote was a couple of hours ago. So that's going to be a Ryzen 9 16 core with 3D V-cache. Graphics again up to RTX 5090, 24 gigabytes. We move down the line to the Stealth A18 and the Stealth 18HX. So again, choice of AMD or Intel. I ask you, how stealthy is this laptop? It's not particularly thin, and it's got RGB in the keyboard. So stealthy, not so sure about that name. However, the laptop itself clearly is going to have plenty of grunt, especially if you go for the version with RTX 5090 graphics. At the end of the line, the Vector 16 and 17HX, in other words, Intel only, no AMD. Up to 5090 graphics in this, and the 17 or 16-inch panel has a resolution 2560 by 1600 240 Hz. Should be a banger for gaming. Here in the corner, we have the MSI Ai Robot, and it's a demo that's built with NVIDIA ACE. Now, this is where either your world ends or it begins. It's a chatbot for tweaking the settings in your MSI Center software. Now, you might say, I don't use MSI Center or my MSI hardware, in which case it's fairly irrelevant to you. You might say, I can push a button myself, which is also fair enough. But you might say, yes, give me AI, help me out, take the load off, in which case the future looks great. And we have a load more gaming laptops in slightly smaller sizes. Crosshair A17, A16i AMD, Crosshair 1716 Intel. So the Intel Core Ultra 9 275HX, the AMD Ryzen 9 8945HX, NVIDIA 50 series, and the impression given was the stack could go all the way down perhaps as far as RTX 5060. That screen, 2560 by 1600, and it's IPS level. Next to that, the Crosshair 18. We've seen the 18s already. We have the Stealth in 16, powered by AMD, Ryzen AI 9HX370. And we have the Raider 16, powered by Intel. We have the Pulse A16, A17s, so AMD-powered Ryzen AI 7350, a terrible name, might be a decent processor. RTX 50, they don't say which version exactly. The panel's 2560 by 1600. Quite a smart aesthetic on the top deck. Loads of RGB. The Katana A17 and A15, either Intel or AMD, has RGB in the keyboard. Looks rather more bland than the Pulse. And here we have RTX 4070 graphics. It was implied that any laptops that currently run 40 series will in time move over to 50 series, but right now this is running last gen NVIDIA graphics. Matt recently reviewed the 7-inch Claw running on Meteor Lake. This is the updated version, Core Ultra 7 250V, i.e. Lunar Lake, and they have apparently fixed the problems with the buttons that people are complaining about. So although it looks similar to the recent version, it is in fact different, we are told. Certainly the internals are different. We move across, however, to the brand new Claw 8 AI. This also runs on Lunar Lake. The graphics are Intel Arc 140V and the 8-inch panel, 1920 by 1200, 120Hz refresh. We've got 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X memory, and it's a very fast 8533. Again, they've updated the buttons. We are assured the hardware is now better. The internals have changed. The fact we have a larger chassis means we have a larger battery. That should also help. Once again, however, it's going to take a review to be confident. It looks good, but is it good? Right now, we just don't know. I mentioned a kingly version of the Titan 18, and this is it, the Dragon Edition Norse Myth. Quite a mouthful. I've done it a few times now. So it looks very smart. It has this fruity dragon insert in the top deck, which is set a few mil below the surface. It's not just an optical illusion, it's a piece of hardware. And when we move to the right, we can see this acid-etched lid design. It feels really good. I doubt you'll see quite as much on camera as I'm feeling in the real world, but it's really neat and I imagine horribly expensive. Also, you'll note a mouse with the same dragon aesthetic. And we come across and we have mention of storage. This laptop has 4 M.2 bays. 1 is Gen 5, 3 are Gen 4, and this is the cooling for the M.2 storage. And as they say on the card, you can run these M.2s in RAID if you want maximum performance. A series of cheaper products aimed for the office. So this modern 13 is not really all that modern. It's powered by a Core 7 150U. Same with the modern 15, 14, 13 next to it. We move up to the adorably named commercial 15, 14, 13. Obviously, these are not aimed at gamers. These are pure work laptops or perhaps for college use. Venture Pro, a whole range of sizes, 14, 15, 16, 17, running on 155H, so that's last year's Meteor Lake. Venture Pro, 14, 15, 16, 17, AMD, only AMD actually, both the Venture and the Pro are both AMD. Prestige 13AI is a Core Ultra 9 288V, so that's bang up to date. Prestige 16 and 16 Pro. This Summit 13 has support for their Pen 2, as they're showing in the video on the screen. In other words, you can write on the screen or paint if you have the chops for that. We move up past the Summit 16s to the Creator 16. This is actually the Creator A16 powered by AMD, Ryzen AI 9 HX370, RTX 4070 graphics. Again, I'd expect that to become 50 series in time. Standing in front of 2 18-inch laptops we've previously seen, the Vector A18 and the Stealth 18HX. And the videos running on these laptops are to show how MSI collaborates with other companies, including this chap from Ubisoft with the interesting hairstyle. I'm signing off in front of the Pulse and Katana laptops. This is Kitguru with MSI Notebooks at CES 2025. We're on TikTok and it's kitguru.net on the web.